Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and also the EU have jointly called for more sanctions against Russia. Let's take a look at some of the sanctions that von der Leyen alluded to are significantly damaging, to say the least. An import ban on Russian coal worth 4.4 billion euro, 4.4 billion US dollars a year. A full transaction ban on 4 key Russian banks that represent 23% of market share in the Russian bank sector. Now, these are just 2 out of 5 planned sanctions imposed on Russia. How does Kremlin anticipate this concentrated effort to paralyze Russia's economy?
First of all, these sanctions may or I'm quite sure will not paralyze Russia's economy, but of course they will shoot back at the countries that are imposing these sanctions, and they are negatively affecting the global economic situation. We all see what is happening with the prices on energy resources, on food products, and these are the sanctions to be blamed. And another thing that I would like to say that now we've learned our lessons, that we cannot trust our Western partners, not in any way, after they have frozen our central bank reserves, but the frozen, probably the better word is they have stolen our reserves. It's not the first time in history that happens with other countries. It's with Cuba, Venezuela, Afghanistan, Iran, of course. So the lessons that we learned, that we need to rely on ourselves more, to develop our own industries, to have our own productions, and to switch to using national currencies, not dollars and euro in trades with our partners.
But reports say that the ruble continues to take a hit. How much is that of a concern?
In the first few weeks of the sanctions, it has depreciated, but now it's getting stronger. It's regained a lot, so the damage is not that considerable.
Okay, now let's talk about NATO here. We just heard NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg spoke of NATO's responsibility to prevent the conflict from escalating beyond Ukraine, and also NATO's commitment to provide military assistance to Ukraine. What do you think about NATO's involvement?
NATO has been involved in all this situation for 8 years, actually, because US and NATO have been pumping arms into Ukraine and training the Ukrainian army and brainwashing Ukrainian people into believing that they need to have conflict with Russia. So NATO is deeply involved, and Zelenskyy has repeatedly stated that Ukraine wants to become a member of NATO, and NATO has never denied the right or the possibility of Ukraine becoming a member of NATO. And for Russia, it's a red line not to be crossed, and it's very easy to understand if you look at the map. We have a 2,000-kilometer border with Ukraine. If NATO brings its military infrastructure to our border, how can we not feel threatened by it? And instead of trying to push Kiev to solve this crisis by diplomatic means, NATO, led by United States, have insistently and consistently pushing Ukraine into this conflict.
So, last item now, we will be seeing President Putin here in Indonesia for the upcoming G20 in Bali. What's the latest on that?
Well, I hope so. I hope so. The invitation has been issued by the President of Indonesia, and there was a response, a preliminary response, I would say, that the President of Russia intends to attend the G20 summit in Bali.
So nothing has been confirmed as we speak, as of now, but the intention is there.
Intention is there.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. But if it does eventually make the promise a reality, what can we expect from President Putin's visit?
The G20 is a forum that, and that is the stand of the Indonesian government, that should concentrate on economic issues and not drag political crisis into agenda. Because we have so many problems in the global economy that we need to focus on. And of course, we do support very much the priorities of Indonesian presidency, and these are the recovery after COVID pandemic, it is the digital transformation, it's the strengthening of the healthcare system, it's the energy transformation. And how can you solve global economic issues without Russia? The forum will become irrelevant without that.